Well, as you can see, the weather has deteriorated to the point I was reminded of a moment at a season finale back in 2019. Zana Shriblak, you'll probably remember that one. Right, here we go with DD2 and DD2 Masters, the final race of the season. Jordi Kleber will start from pole position. Axel Hoos will line up alongside on the front row. Wout Kirstens will be joined by Imke Arts on row 2. We have already been told that Wout Kirstens has already clinched the DD2 championship this year, so congratulations to the 466. Rick van der Start and Ralph van der Pave. Wout Kirstens is not. Right. Wout Kirstens is out of the kart. And is that going... Oh, right, he's getting back in, but one kart might be going on a trolley jack. Well, there's Axel Hoos walking away from his kart. Who else? Nick Danchenko, I believe, in the 409. They've gone, don't like this. So that basically means that Imke Arts has probably got pretty much a straight line run into turn 1 quite easily from 4th on the grid. So yeah, Nick Danchenko. Right, apart from that, Thielen will be starting alongside Vincent van Kerkhoven on row 4. Lemoine starting 8th. Bennett Demler and Mika van der Pavert ran out the top 10. William Norbeek, Wim Rouleau confirmed as DD2 Masters champion for 2025. Once again, will be representing Team Netherlands at the Grand Finals. Did so last year at Sarno. Milan Vroom, Gwen Bloxhill, Ton van Weert, Jesse Spans, Luca Neuenhausen, Nicolas Guillaume and Kian de Brandt. Spoke with Nico when he came up to the restaurant area, and he said, throttle issue. As, oh, Jordi, what are you doing? He just spun it on the run down to turn 9. And on that particular occasion, didn't quite work out as planned. So the red lights are ignited on the gantry for what will be our last race for Rotax in 2025 for Chrono Karting. Titles already decided who will be top of the pops when we go lights out for 13 minutes plus 2 additional laps. The lights go out, plumes of spray from the back axle of every single kart as everyone heads into turn 1, and Rick van der Start got the jump. Oh, there's a few pirouetting karts, and one of which is the 428 of William Norbeek from Denmark, who nearly did a muddy joker lap at that point. That's how bad it is. Oh, someone's also had drama coming out of turn 3. And look at the standing water on the inside of turn 5. There's actually a big splash puddle on the approach. So if you're not in the lead of this race, you are really going to have your visibility significantly compromised. As, oh, spinner out of turn 7. And that's put the cat amongst the pigeons, so to speak. So the drivers now, it's like treading on eggshells. It's dancing on ice without the ice skates blades underneath you. Only you've got Mojo W5 CIKs shot on your kart. And someone having a little bit of a drama coming out of turn number 11. That was Gwen Bloxhill, who moved up to 11th place. But Vincent van Kerkhoven leads the way. Mika van der Pavert, Bennett Demler ran out the top 3. Jordi Kleber in 4th. Now, I think the kart that went off would more than likely have been, I think it was Ralph van der Pavert possibly. Well, Ralph is currently, no, it would have been Luca Neuenhausen. Sorry about that, 488. He was the one that went off the circuit. So, yeah, final race of the season and the heavens open, and all of a sudden the track is completely saturated. There are so many standing water puddles. The spray when they hit the puddle on the inside of turn 5. Let's just say you've got to be very, very careful especially with the radiators on these karts, especially if it's a left-hander and the puddle is in on the left hand, on the inside of the apex on that corner you're turning in if you're steering left. As now, that is Rick van der Straat, I believe, possibly on the Sony kart, losing a position. So after 2 laps, Vincent van Kerkhoven has a 1 1/4 second lead over Mika van der Pavet. Bennett Demler up 6 spots. Mika van der Pavet up 8 spots. Vincent van Kerkhoven up 6. And not everyone went out. Well, Axel Hoos and Wout Kirstens have all come out onto the circuit anyway. So has Nick Danchenko, who is effectively 2 laps off the leaders. So we have just under 9 3/4 minutes, plus those 2 additional laps, and the Brollies are going up in the grandstand. But Vincent van Kerk, right, okay, so 1 lap deducted for Wout Kirstens, Axel Hoos and Nick Danchenko. 1 lap deducted started from pit lane. And now, kart 428, that is William Norbeek. 3-second time penalty, unsportsmanlike driving. As Bennett Demler goes a bit deep into turn number 5 off of the Europlan and is being chased down by Ralf van der Pavert, whose brother Mika is up into P2. So Vincent van Kerkhoven trying to start to pull away a little bit as you can see how treacherous or how careful the drivers are trying to not go over the curb too heavily at turn 10. And at this point, well, both Bennett Demler and Ralf van der Pavert were very, very careful. They didn't want to overstep the mark and thereby lose traction coming out of the corner. But still, they have an opportunity. And Bennett Demler, had nearly a cheeky look up the inside of Mika van der Pavert going through into turn 4. Now through 5 out of the Europlan. The 2 are going to be wheel to wheel. And Bennett Demler, slingshots past through on Mika van der Pavert, and that is through. Through goes the German at turn number 6. But that's not going to stop these 3 from battling. But Vincent van Kerkhoven is going to be able to pull away into the foreground. And there's Ralf probably saying to Mika, "Come on, just eyes forward, head down. Let's just get on with it." And the biggest gainers so far in this race, Kian de Brandt, would have started stone dead last had it not been for the 3 that decided to start from the pits. And at this point, with 6.5 minutes to go, plus an additional 2 laps, I think the drivers will be breathing a big sigh of relief. Of course, we've still got KZ2 Masters and KZ2 still to run at the circuit here at the Home of Champions before we conclude the on-track activities for 2025, notwithstanding the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals, which will be taking place in 25 days' time. still the standing water. Testing the drivers, the rain, it's a steady shower now, rather than a significant avalanche that we had, what was it, probably about 10 or so minutes ago. And Ralph decided to do the right thing and go out with a wetsuit on, but that's still going to be absolutely soaked right the way through. And Mika's just decided, well, I'll just brave it and just go out with the standard SP Motorsport outfit. But Ralph finds his way up to P3, but Mika trying to go around the outside, gets through at turn 5, at which one of the two brothers is going to have the run coming down the Yurapalan. They might be running under the same awning, they might be brothers, but they're still ultra competitive. You can see what they're doing is skating over the curbing, rather than using the wheel, using the undercarriage of the chassis. And, okay, that might scrape some paint off it, but it's going to mean that it's a lot smoother than having to have two contact patches on the right-hand side connecting with curbing that is soaking wet and slipperier than an ice rink on a good day. And at the moment, Vincent van Kerkhoven has a lead of over 2.1 seconds. In comparison with Bennett Demler. So, and at the moment, well, Bennett Demler last time around was just over a tenth and a bit quicker than Van Kerkhoven, so the gap has gone down over the last 2 laps, so probably about the best part of 0.3 of a second has been eaten away by Bennett Demler in P2. And then Ralph van der Pavert has got away from brother Mika to the point of close to 1.2 seconds, I believe, in the battle for P3. Jan de Brandt has made a pretty good drive in the wet weather conditions so far. He's up to P5 ahead of Yuri Klebo, who spun it before we'd even got the start underway, and that was not exactly a good thing when he went off the circuit coming out of turn 8 and going into turn 9. So just over 3 minutes to go. And still, battles are raging on. And we've got a couple of drivers battling away. Nicolas Guillaume now through on Imke Arts. Now remember the battle that they had with... You know when you just try and when you just try to remember a particular name. Sem Knopfius, that was the name I was looking for. They were battling with Sem Knopfius for the DD2 title last year. Nico, I think, has also been racing overseas, I think as far as Asia this year, so getting a lot of experience under his belt. And Imke Arts, I think is just, that's, right, Luca Neuenhausen has just got through on the 421. So Guillaume up to P7. Imke Arts now will drop to 9th behind Luca Neuenhausen, who has gained 11 places. Guillaume 13, respectively. And at the moment, the fastest lap of the race has gone to Jan de Brandt. So there is still plenty of this race left to run, as in corners, not laps, not minutes, but but not that much time left to go. And that can always be the case, whereby you'll appreciate getting to the end of a race once it's all said and done, and then everyone will breathe a collective sigh of relief once that moment has happened. So the timer has officially expired. Derek Van Kurt is the only driver that has retired from the race, I'm afraid to say, on lap number 8. But still, there is an opportunity for other drivers to, as they say, carry on regardless and keep on racing right up until the checkered flag. And Vincent van Kerkhoven, at the moment, has led every single lap of this race and has not, I think, pretty much looked back once. So from that perspective, it will help him no end there to carry on. So next time around, it will be the last lap of the season for DD2 and DD2 Masters here in Chrono Karting. After this, we'll have our penultimate race of the weekend, which will be our KZ2 Masters division. There, the title has pretty much been, I think, decided. But there is one more title that will go down to the final race of the season. Last lap for DD2 and DD2 Masters here in 2025 for Chrono Karting. And Vincent van Kerkhoven for the home team, GKS. Look at the amounts of black stuff on the bumper. I think at this particular point, that's seen better days. But it will be the case of, can he bring it home without any issues whatsoever? And the case in point may be yes. But Bennett Demler is closing in on him. And as they say, it ain't over until that checkered flag is waved. And more to the point, Vincent van Kerkhoven gets a little bit of redemption in this race. But will Bennett Demler beat him across the line? Round out of the final corner. Van Kerkhoven holds on and wins the final by 2/10, and Bennett Demler sets the fastest lap of the race on the last lap of it. Thumbs up by the man from Germany. Vincent van Kerkhoven is your winner in the DD2 and DD2 Masters final race of the season, ahead of Bennett Demler. Ralph van der Pava, well, buddy, I think you got a podium there. So Ralph van der Pava takes P3 ahead of brother Mika. Kian de Brandt and Nicolas Guillaume round out your top 6. Jordi Klebor, Luca Neuenhausen, Imke Arts, William Norbeek and Wim Rouleau rounds out your top 11. Rouleau wins in Masters and also clinches the title in winning ways. Jesse Spans, Rick van der Start, Theo Lemoyne, Tom van Weert, Gwen Blockstill, Milan Vroom, Axel Hoos, Wout Kirstens and Nick Danchenko round out the finishing order. And Derek Van Kurt unfortunately retiring on lap number 8. But Van Kerkhoven wins the race. And more to the point, Wout Kirstens and Wim Rouleau are your 2025 champions here for Chrono Karting, as we'll now leave you with them to enjoy their moment under the spotlight for the lap of honour here at Karting Genk.